Donald Trump has put MAGA Mike Johnson and many Republicans in a terrible position. We now know that the House and Senate have voted to release the Epstein files. The DOJ will now have 30 days to do it. But MAGA Mike Johnson seems to slowly have realized Trump screwed me. Trump screwed me because for a while we were alongside Trump against transparency. And then now all of a sudden, as some started to rebel, we really ended up screwed because we have to explain why we have changed our minds. MAGA Mike Johnson tries to dance around this by going, there is no reversal here, no reversal at all.
Do you acknowledge that by voting for this discharge petition today, that is a reversal for you, that you could have put this on the floor months ago and may not have even needed to have a discharge petition if you had supported it months ago?
No, it's not a reversal. As I just explained, we had big problems with the discharge from the moment it was filed. We talked with the authors. There was lots of people that went and pleaded with them to fix it so that everybody could be together because we've been for maximum transparency. But again, there's a reason you have rules and processes here to ensure that this is not done haphazardly. And I was not satisfied with that. But I've been for maximum transparency from the very beginning. We wanted the process to play out. So, yes.
Last question, guys. I understand where you're coming from with your concerns with the discharge petition. I also understand your want for transparency in this case. You've been very clear on both those fronts for weeks. So is the reason why you're now deciding to vote for this resolution because President Trump directly said Republicans should vote for this? Because this has been your position.
In case you can't hear the question, what she's saying is, are you only now for this because Trump said you should do it?
All along, and you've made it clear you weren't in support of this resolution.
If and when the discharge reached the 218th signature, it will be forced. And the forcing mechanism here prevents the very deliberate, professional, careful manner in which Congress is supposed to do this. I lament.
So listen, he realizes Trump screwed him. They were on Trump's side, and then Trump reversed because of the political pressure. And now they all have to go and say, I guess we're voting for it. But remember, I believe they have something up their sleeve. I don't think that this is really everything that we believe it to be. MAGA Mike Johnson was asked about possible redactions or elements being withheld if and when the files are ultimately released. Here is what Mike Johnson said.
Reading through the bill, though, I guess I'm confused because the bill.
And I apologize, the questions are hard to hear. The question is, are these things going to be redacted potentially?
Specifically says the Attorney General may withhold or redact portions related to child sexual abuse materials as defined in the law, anything jeopardizing federal investigations. It specifically says they can withhold anything containing personal identifiable information of victims, personal medical files. We know the survivors are comfortable with that. All of these things are actually in this bill.
They're not. Let me give you an example. And we could be up here for a long time. I'll litigate it with you because I brought all this stuff. All right. Okay. So the first one you mentioned. Okay. So here's the HRS 581. This is the discharge. Okay. It says on page 5, redact anything that depicts or quote depicts or contains child sexual abuse material (CSAM) as defined under 18 U.S.C. 2256. Okay. All right. So you go to 18 U.S.C. 2256. Definitions of the chapter. Nowhere in this section, okay, go look it up, all right, does it contain the definition of child sexual abuse material. So I used to litigate federal cases, and I would challenge statutes in court, okay? The language is very important and very precise. If it's not listed here and this were to become law, child sexual abuse materials are not included. They're not included for redaction, which means the Attorney General and someone there, if they interpret the discharge in the statute.
All right, you get the game that I'm so sick of this guy. The game he's playing is, well, because CSAM, child sexual abuse material, isn't defined, then it's up to the AG to determine what might come out. The Brad stuff might come out. We're not sure. We don't like the way that we did this. You know who's sick of this guy? Our old friend, Benny Johnson. Here is right-wing provocateur of sorts, Benny Johnson, slamming Mike Johnson for stonewalling the release of the files. They are turning on each other.
And so by just
all right, enough. I've heard it, and I'm done with it. I've heard it, and I'm sick of it. Honestly, I'm sick of it. Life's not fair, you know? Like, sometimes there are just, like, unfortunate political realities. Things snowball, and life's just not fair. And really terrible stuff has happened to me in the public arena and so on and so forth. And every single day, like, just, you know, like, just check the comment section. It's just like, this is just the world that you play in, right? and people get bulldozed, and it sucks sometimes, and it's just not fair. But there are also political realities. And the political reality of the current moment is that the evils of what Jeffrey Epstein did and the protection around Jeffrey Epstein, the racket of government protection around this international pederast that let him out of jail, that gave him a slap on the wrist, that gave him his own wing of the prison, that gave everybody immunity around him, that allowed him to operate and abuse these women. That's more important to destroy and for the American people to understand what that was.
All right, you get the picture. Now, I don't even believe this shit. To be honest, I don't even think Benny Johnson really cares about the substance. I think Benny Johnson realizes that his audience is overwhelmingly made up of the Epstein truthers or whatever, the people that used to include Kash Patel before he was director of the FBI. And Benny Johnson knows where his bread is buttered. And Benny Johnson knows there is no credible way for him to now go, no, don't release the files. It might, who the hell knows what. He happens to be right. We're sick of these MAGA Mike Johnson and others, but I don't even think Benny Johnson's doing it for the right reason. MAGA Mike Johnson, no relation to Benny Johnson, realizes Trump screwed us, but he's still loyal because he's truly part of the cult. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.